Hello everyone, welcome to the Apex Fundamental tutorial. In this video, we will be talking about final keyword in Apex. We will be learning what is final keyword, when do we use final keyword, what are the different types or we can say different ways we can use final keyword, and then we will also see what is the relationship of final keyword with static keyword. At the end, we will wrap this session with some practical examples and doing this practically in the developer console to make everything clear. Alright, so final keyword, as the name suggests, basically used to make a variable constant. Like other language, Apex does not have a const data type. So final keyword is a way by which we make a particular variable a constant in Apex. Okay. Constant means once we assign a value to that variable, that value cannot be changed. Okay, and sometimes you may also get this question, can we use final with Apex classes or Apex method? So Apex classes and Apex methods are final by default. You need not to write final explicitly with them, they are by default final. If you want to change that behavior, then you may need to use the virtual or abstract keyword. Apex classes and methods are by default final, so we need not to mention final with them. But with variable, we have to use final keyword if we want to make a variable as a constant. Okay, so that is final keyword. Now, there are two different types of constant we can say. One is a class level constant and other one is the instance level constant. Okay. For example, let's say you have a bank account. Okay. Now, bank account is going to be different for every customer. Okay, but once you get a bank account number, that is going to remain same. So you need a account number variable which is a constant, but for every customer that number is going to be different. Okay, so in that case you will be needing a instance level constant, not the class level constant. Class level constant is a constant whose value is going to be same throughout the class, whereas instance level constant is a constant which belongs to each and individual object. From this example of bank account, if you say your bank name is going to be same for all the customer. For that particular bank name is going to be the same. So bank name can be a variable which could be a class level constant because it is going to be same for all the customer, whereas the account number is going to be unique for each customer. So account number need to be a constant, but it need not to be a class level constant. It can be an instance level constant. Okay, we will do some practical example which will make these things very clear to you. Okay, so going back to the Salesforce screen, let us write down a Apex class. I am going to create a class bank account, and in this Apex class I will be declaring few variable. First I will be declaring a bank name variable. Let's call it ABC bank, and then I'm going to declare a public static string account number. Okay, now I want this account because this account number is uh, going to be a instance level variable. I am not going to use static with it, I am going to use just final with it. So we have two variables, one is class level constant, other one is instance level constant. How do we define a class level constant? By using static and final together. Static will make sure that the value is accessible throughout the class, or value is not dependent on instance, whereas value is dependent on the class itself, throughout going to be the same. And final will make sure that value cannot be changed. So if you use static and final together, then you make a class level constant. On the other hand, if you just use final without using static, then that creates an instance level constant. Account number is dependent on an instance of a bank account, because it is going to be unique for each customer. But once a customer is instantiated, once an account number is decided for a particular customer, then that account number cannot be changed. That is why we need final with it. Otherwise, for a customer, account number can be changed in future. We don't want that. Okay, let us dig deeper on this. Let us define a constructor for it. This constructor will get the account number, and we can say this dot account number is equals to account number, and let us say public void show details, where we'll be displaying the details, system.debug and bank, sorry, just a second. System.debug, and here let's show bank details, and bank details are going to be with bank name. Similar to bank details, let us also display the account number, and account number is going to be account number. And let us try to save this. Now let us try to run this. So because this show detail method is not a static method, it's an instance method. Why we created an instance method, not a static method? Because this bank account number is going to be different for each customer, and we will be creating an instance for each customer by this bank account class. Okay, how do we run it? We will create the instance of this, and here we need to pass the account number for this customer, account 1. Okay, so we can pass, let's say, ACC001, and now ACC001 dot show details. We will run this. Let us see the result. So bank name is going to be same, ABC Bank, but for each individual customer we will have a different account number. So let me revise what we did. We created a class bank account, where we have created two variable. One is bank name. This is class level constant, because this is going to be same for all the customers of ABC Bank. And then we created a instance level constant, which is going to hold the account number. This account number is going to be unique for each customer. Once we assign the account number, it should be unique, but every customer will have a different account number. That is why we went with final keyword but did not use static with it, because if we make it static, then account number will be same for all the customers, and that is not what we want. What we want is account number should be different for each customer. It should be unique, it should be, but it should not be same for all the customers. So that is the difference between a class level constant and instance level constant. So whenever somebody asks you why we always use static and final together, that is not the case. It depends on the use case of when we need to use both versus when we just need final. Okay, so with this we will close this final keyword and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.